Man, this YSL situation with Young Thug, Lil Durk, 21, Lil Baby, all of them boys in Atlanta is getting kind of out of hand at this point with all the telling and back and forth and the gossip. But I will say this, the truth has to be exposed, all right? The truth has to be exposed. It's just a matter of time when it gets exposed or, you know what I'm saying, or who folds. But we already see how it's going. Young Thug, a lot of jail calls going out. He was talking about basically everybody. He was even talking about Lil Baby's manager. He wasn't even talking about rappers. But yeah, he had a lot to say on them jail calls. But just know this, with Young Thug, right? I actually saw this one interview where they were asking him about, black on black crime when it comes to homicide. He don't care. He basically said that's none of his business and he's not concerned with none of that. So that being said, Young Thug, he may have some good songs out there that sound good, but if you look at his message and overall presentation for the community of our people, he's not for us. He's actually against us. So that being said, all this that's happening to him now is a result of years of evil. He put out a lot of evil out there, and like I told you guys, had some good beats, some good flows. I'm not gonna even argue with that. But if you look at the overall message and what he's putting out there and all this gossiping he was doing in jail on them phones, you get to see the real person he is. And for me and a lot of other people that grew up listening to Thug, especially when I was back in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saw what happened when he put on that dress. You know what I'm saying? That's the day I lost respect for Thug, when he put on that dress. And, I never looked at him the same since then. But now everybody else is starting to see, like, Thug really is not like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, like, he's not willing to shoot nobody. Anybody could shoot somebody. Let's get that out the way. It doesn't make you tough or real street to shoot somebody. Anybody can grab a gun and click a trigger, all right? But he wasn't doing nothing for the community as far as really lifting us up. You know what I'm saying? And then he was pushing murder, right? So when you look at the Bible, it says, do not kill, steal, destroy. What he was doing, he was killing, stealing, and he was destroying people's lives. And I'm not going to get into all of that on here, but, Rich Homie Quan and one of his former managers was affected. So this guy, he's not, I don't know why people really look up to Thug or really any rappers. I mean, they all have a label deal for the most part. I'm not saying every single rapper, but most of them have a label deal where they have to be subservient and push out a bunch of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye said it best. They're like rich slaves. You know what I'm saying? They're like rich slaves. Once you sign that contract, you're basically owned. And a lot of that money you got to pay back. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, many rappers and athletes, they end up going broke at some point in their life because of money mismanagement and just their overall corruption of themselves, getting into that fast lifestyle where they're partying very often and they're using different types of substances and crashing out and getting locked up. But at the end of the day, Thug, he's alive still. He has a chance to redeem himself and attain salvation, but he does have a lot of work to do on himself, and we all do. But Thug is just that person in the limelight right now that's been pushing violence, murder, and madness in the streets of Atlanta. And he's getting what he deserved. You know what I'm saying? He's getting what he deserved. I'm talking about the gossip. I never would think that much gossip. That man was on the phone. He was hogging up them phones and talking about everybody. You know what I'm saying? But what do y'all think is going to happen to Thug? You think he's going to bounce back from this and drop some fire? Or you think he's going to kind of wither away and Gunna is going to take over the city? I know what I think. I think Gunna is going to be the face of Atlanta. Him and maybe Future. You know what I'm saying? As far as that type of scene when it comes to rap, hip hop, you know what I'm saying? I think Gunna is up now, and Future, he's still there. Future's still there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.